It's so many people get tied up into what is the best decision. Somebody please tell me what to do. If a robot was controlling my account, who would they rank up? And it's like, man, dude, this is not about making the best decisions. Like it's about having a little bit of fun with Marvel characters. I think one of the main reasons why this game is so successful is that people really identify with the Marvel universe and the characters.
Hey everybody, this is another episode of the podcast that I've been doing every week, and this one is about rank ups. We're going to get into, sort of the rank up decisions that we've had to make over the course of our careers. My guest, the person I'm talking to, is MoistVL. He's the same guy who I had a talk with regarding piloting alliances a little while back, and so we've kept in contact over the weeks. And this is an old episode that I lost the footage for, or the recording, and I just somehow miraculously found it on the hard drive somewhere, and so I'm resurrecting it. I'm gonna publish it. We spent some time talking, so it does make sense to put it out there. Anyway, we talk about rank ups, what makes us rank up certain champions, what our strategy is in general involving rank ups, and just sort of share some personal stories with our own experience in the game. There's some advice in here to be had. There's some just sort of interesting conversation regarding rank ups. There's some tips, maybe some stuff you shouldn't do, some stuff that I do that I don't recommend. Sort of do as I say, not as I do, type of thing. But it's a good talk. So just sit back and enjoy it, and just have a listen. There's nothing to watch here, so yeah, enjoy.
Why did you want to talk about rank ups? Like what got that into your head?
I don't know. I think rank ups are just an interesting topic. A lot of people don't seem to approach them in a calculated manner.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people, especially after season 2 rewards dropped, make almost snap decisions.
Oh yeah, and tons of rank 5s.
Yeah, and then Kabam have made a massive amount of announcements, which may have impacted, how happy people are with their rank 5 choices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I currently need some rank up advice, so maybe we can go through some pretty interesting examples.
Yeah.
But I at least in my alliance, I saw there was like 5 or 6 rank 5s like the next day.
Yeah,
we had
multiple
killmongers go up to rank 5, I think.
Yeah.
Couple, actually no blades. Nobody took their blade up, which is interesting. I thought that was good. Don't want any more blades.
Yeah. Season 1, like once we had, I think, 3 per battle group, our leader basically just said no more blades.
Wow. Yeah, we had one Medusa, but most of us, we were Platinum 3, so it was tough. Like a lot of people, unless they had planned it out it was actually the guys who had been mostly like considered unlucky in the past that were able to take up their rank 5s. And
yeah,
because they had still tons of resources stashed and hadn't really, maybe sometimes it was their first rank 5. People who had finished Act 5, but they were like, well, I'm not going to do it on my, 455 Captain Marvel. So they're like, oh, I finally got a Killmonger from the 5-star basic crystal, or I finally got a Blade or Stark Spidey. And so we're pretty happy for them. But I'm sitting here the opposite problem. I have so many champions that I want to take up to rank 5 and no resources whatsoever to do it with. I mean,
right.
Did you know that I pulled a domino recently? Out of the whale crystal. I whaled out for it. And,
I didn't see the actual crystal. I just saw some gameplay footage of it.
Oh yeah, the Medusa countering technique.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy with. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing, and when it was, I was like, oh yeah, that's very cool. But I want her to be my next 565, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. I saw Seaton just took her up.
I was not expecting that. Like,
no.
from him. Like, Although looking back, okay, he is kind of like he likes bleeds and stuff, so he's a
Yeah,
big fan of bleeders. But he's also a huge fan of like regen characters. Like I noticed like he always defaults to those characters.
yeah.
So I was expecting personally like Doctor Voodoo or I don't actually that's who I was thinking he was going to take up.
Yeah, I mean, once you've got Blade up at rank 5, he does a lot of the same stuff that Voodoo does anyway.
True.
Like there are some subtle differences. That they're each better at certain fights, but you don't really need that level of redundancy.
That's a good point. Which is one of the reasons why Domino might be bad for me personally. Like I have the high damage output champion. Do I?
Stark Spy.
Yeah, but she is a good defender, so it's tricky. I think. What do you think are like the main? So it's like, okay, your top 5 champions. Do you think? What should the diversification of those top 5 be? Like, what qualities are you looking for out of the 5 champions? You know what I mean?
Well, for mine personally, a lot of it came about purely because at the time I was needing to keep up with prestige. So I was basically just ranking up the best champions I had access to at the time.
The highest prestige champions? Or
a combination of highest prestige and just like best overall. Because while I was ranking for prestige, part of it is that once you get 5 rank 4 5 stars, then you're going to have that massive bump in prestige compared to not having 5 rank 4s. So my top 5 early on were Unduped Nightcrawler, Star-Lord, Hyperion, Rogue, and Dr. Voodoo.
Okay, but when I hear that, I hear almost exactly what I would look for in a top 5, because that's not necessarily prestige. Because what did I hear? Hyperion, Rogue, Voodoo, Star-Lord, and Nightcrawler. Is that it?
Yeah.
So there I see I have 2 defenders. I've got 2 high prestige champions in Rogue and Voodoo, and I've got 1 damage dealer in Star-Lord. And that's my exact, like, at least like to answer the question I had asked you, that's my exact like preference in a top 5. I'd want 2 prestige, 2 defenders, and 1 damage. And if I can overlap any of those qualities, I will.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if I had a good array of options, champions like Nightcrawler and possibly even Star-Lord, and definitely Rogue wouldn't have gotten ranked up. What I'd look for in the top 5 for me is immunities. So ideally a double immune, which is why I jumped on the Vision offer when that came around. Power control, so something like Magic, Voodoo, Vision, Dr. Octopus.
Vision ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, Vision has been fantastic. He's actually surprisingly decent with prestige as well.
10,000, I think.
Yeah, around there.
200. Yeah.
But like it scales pretty equally the whole way through. So just constantly pumping 6 stones into him just gives you that boost all the way, which is good.
Yeah, I've been struggling to get him up. I think he's like 30 now. I really need him at like 100 for him to be like ultra effective. I think that's over a bar power if you can get to 100.
No, 127.
Oh God, really?
23, somewhere around there. Yeah, one of my alliance mates got him up there. Like he was doing stone by stone to see when he got a bar of power.
What is it about the signature stone flow? That affects rank up decisions a lot, because You know, at
Oh,
least
for
at least
sure.
on the lower end of, let's say you're just starting to make big rank up decisions, you might want to go with like um, champions that that require like a high sig level, because you're going to have all those sig stones from all the content you've completed, and this is like your first rank
Yep.
up, right? So you can pump in stones, right? And so that's a huge prestige bump. But right now, like for example for me and maybe even for you, um, if we're going to take a champion up, it's likely that they're going to stay at like sig 20 or sig 1 depending on how you duped them for a very long time.
Yeah. One thing to touch on with that is I wouldn't rank for a champion like now. I wouldn't rank for a champion without the ability to have it awakened and at a decent sig level if it needs to be awakened. And related to that, I wouldn't awaken a champion unless I'm taking it to rank 4 at the same time. The awakening gems and the signature stones are so rare.
I think the stones are more rare than the gems. I mean, at least for
Yeah.
me, it's been that way. I have 4 5-star awakening gems right now. 4
Oh,
of them.
wow.
And every
Jeez.
single one of my 5 stars, except for Iceman, was awakened with a gem. So, like,
Wow.
I don't know where I'm getting them all. Like, it seems like I've accumulated a total of, like, almost 10 of them, I think, so far.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know where they're coming from. I can't get a sig stone to save my life, though.
I've awakened 5 champions, and I think I've got just 1 sig stone left.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 1 cosmic left.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I've started to save my mutants again because I've been just considering dominoes. So I think I have like 5 or 6, maybe 10 mutants.
Oh, sorry. Rank up gems, I meant.
Oh, rank up. What do you mean?
Not rank up gems. Awakening gems.
Oh, right.
Jeez. Yeah,
Do you
it's so
have-
easy to.
Do you have a big
mix
stash
up
of
the
sig
terminology.
stones sitting around?
I've got a massive pile of skill and science, just because I don't have a decent champion of either of those classes.
Right. I think on the topic of sig stones, like one giant piece of advice I would give people, let me know if you agree with this, is the generics that you get. I don't know how we got them. Maybe Act 4 or I don't know.
You get 20 for every one of those special challenges,
Okay.
like the Evangeline Lily one.
My advice is to save those, like until the end of time, almost.
Oh yeah,
you should not throw those into a champion unless you are determined to take that champion to Sig 200.
Yeah, I've thrown mine into Voodoo and Vision.
Yeah, I've been putting mine into Sentry, which I don't regret. Like, this is still a dream of mine to have a Sig 200 Sentry.
What's the prestige cap out
at? He'll be like 10,600 at 560. Yeah, it's very, very, very. He's the number 4 champion now that Gold Pool was added.
Yep.
Yeah. So pretty dang good. But I'm still not sold on taking him up to 565 next, just because the Alliance Quest delays might be longer than I'm expecting, and I might want Domino as a defender before Sentry as a prestige bump. But that would mean forcing myself into a 1-565 situation for a much longer time. I don't know if I can do it.
Oh yeah, it's hard to wait. Like I understand why people are ranking them up straight away, because the gratification of getting that champion ranked up feels so good in the moment.
Oh yeah, it's and you like that. The high is almost like a drug high, because you come down so hard after, if it wasn't a good decision.
The piece of advice I can give is just wait as long as humanly possible for those rank ups. If you're in a position where your alliance doesn't need a prestige bump and ranking up won't give you a prestige bump, then waiting until the the day that the new Alliance season starts, like the Alliance War or the new Alliance Quest changes go live, waiting until the very day that you'll need that champion will make a big difference. And in the terms of Alliance Quest, wait, if you are ranking up for Prestige, wait until just before, like maybe the day before, just so that the Prestige is actually locked in and you're not ranking up after leadership has already started it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a shame that some alliances force those rank ups. Another big thing for rank ups is, like, do you like the champion? Do you have fun with them?
Yeah.
Just it's so many people get tied up into what is the best decision. Somebody please tell me what to do. If a robot was controlling my account, who would they rank up? And it's like, man, dude, this is not about making the best decisions. Like, it's about having a little bit of fun with Marvel characters. I think one of the main reasons why this game is so successful is that people really identify with the Marvel universe and the characters. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nightcrawler was my first rank 4 champion.
Oh, so jealous, man. I would have loved a Nightcrawler.
Like he's just been my favorite Marvel character, just since I was a kid. So getting the chance to go for him in the featured crystal, I was so ecstatic.
Oh yeah,
popped 3 of those, got him once, and then ranked for him pretty much as soon as I could.
Was that you popped a featured 5-star for Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Awesome. I've told this a few times. I don't know, probably not to you though, but when I first started, the first featured champion that came around was Nightcrawler when I first started the game. And of course, I don't know how to use units at that point, so I see the crystal and I'm like, Nightcrawler, also my favorite like hero in the Marvel universe, at least at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I love Nightcrawler. I love the teleportation. I'm gonna buy some of these crystals. I'm gonna buy them until I can't buy anymore. And I only was able to get like 2 of them, but I managed to pull a 3-star Nightcrawler. And this is also before I knew about masteries, right? So I was just throwing the mastery points into the first level, the one that was free. Like I wasn't even spending gold.
And he let you evade.
And he could evade. He had a built-in. Yeah. So I thought he was the best champion in the game. I was like, this guy's OP. Like he can evade anything, and all the other champions, they just have to block. Like this is a game changer. And so I used Nightcrawler to get all the way through Act 3 and everything. Before I even learned about parry or dexterity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like doing the heroic event quest with the 3-star Nightcrawler, just putting potions into him, thinking, man, this guy is he's the best. I loved it.
I actually used him to complete Labyrinth, my first run.
No, was it? How was that? Was the deep wounds, his deep wound mechanic, like it can escalate really quickly?
So my tactic was just to get a couple of special 3s, which basically bumped his deep wounds chance to, if not 100, it was at least very close to 100%.
Does it scale? As in, like each special 3 adds on additional chance?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that. I thought that was a one-time thing.
Yeah, so it permanently increases the chance for the rest of the fight.
Wow.
And then after that, it was just a case of change stance so that he would get those precision buffs cycling through.
Oh, yeah.
And from there, you're basically just doing a ton of crits and getting a huge amount of extra bleed damage from the deep wounds. So
that's insane. Was deep wounds, was it interacting with his bleed at that point when you did it?
No, I heard about the bug, but it never seemed to work for mine.
Oh.
Yeah, it never worked for my Nightcrawler. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. So if people who are going to be listening to this, if you don't know, back in the day there was a bug. I think it was when Deep Wounds was fairly new as a mastery, and every time Nightcrawler procced his Deep Wound ability, it would extend it for 2.5 seconds, which was insanity. Like multiplied Nightcrawler's damage by like 5. So it was an amazing attack increase for him.
It was crazy.
It was a bug though.
His deep wounds does something like 80%.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how he melts people.
Oh no, sorry, about 50% extra damage. Every time he gets a critical hit. So yeah, getting that extended for 5 more ticks. You're going from 150% to 400% damage.
Pretty crazy.
So
I wish they kept it. I don't know how.
That would have been great.
It's pretty bad, but now some of the champions they have added into the game, that doesn't seem that overpowered. Like Domino having a bleed tick for 20,000 damage. Okay, I think we can afford Nightcrawler's 600 bleed tick to go on a few more seconds. It's not going to break the game. So, and that was kind of a sidetrack.
Yeah.
I love Nightcrawler though. I love him. I'm with you, man. You didn't rank him down, did you?
No. Sadly, if we do get ranked down tickets, he probably will be the first to go down.
How many 6 stones did you put into him?
Pays me. None. He's unduped.
Oh, he remains unduped.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I would definitely be throwing an awakening gem into him.
I've got Iceman still to awaken.
Oh, you have him at 455 as well.
Oh, 345.
Okay, I see where your head's at now. You're thinking, you're looking at the next generation of 455s for your roster. Because you started early, so you've got some old school champions up there.
That's right. And then, I ended up pulling champs like Magic, Morningstar, Iceman,
my God,
Gwenpool. They're all sitting at 345 or lower because I pulled all of those way after my first batches of 5 stars.
So do you know there seems to be like a clear divide before Stark Spidey and after Stark Spidey of the type of champions that exist in this game. Like after Stark Spidey is madness. They're just one ridiculously niche or powerful champion after another. They all have some sort of crazy utility or damage, and very complicated uses, right? And before Stark Spidey, much more simple. It feels like they hired someone around that time, to change it up, and I almost all of my rank ups they're split between them. Like I have Blade, Stark Spidey, and then I have Iceman, Phoenix, and then I did Sentry. Sentry's post Stark Spidey. He's a little bit more complicated. But now I'm out, and there's a new generation coming, it seems. I can almost say, after it, I think Domino might be another line divider. It may have been, who was before Domino? It's the Iron Man guy, yeah.
Yeah, Sentinel, Infinity War, Iron Man. I feel
they're going to make changes.
Every Alliance season, or at least first and second Alliance season, towards the end of both of those, they released a fairly powerful defender that you had to adapt to really quickly. So the first season, it was just in the the Alliance War seasons where you have the Tier 5 basics as a reward. So with Infinity War Iron Man, he was partway through season 2. He had to adapt really quickly. And for season 1, it was Sentinel. When he first came out, people were struggling against him, but they got used to it pretty quickly.
And Iron Man, they're getting used to.
So I imagine they're going to be doing something similar. I don't know how good Ghost and Wasp are. I still haven't bothered completing this monthly quest yet.
Wasp isn't even in the quest.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
You can't even fight her. Ghost does not seem like a good defender at all, but Wasp definitely seems like she's going to be the new Spider-Man. It's...
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the node? Well, it's not the node she doesn't stun you when she evades, but she applies a shock, and it's really bad. but it's a fairly low chance. So any ability accuracy reduction is going to do pretty well.
Yep. Yeah.
Shock immune. Is there anybody shock immune? Somebody is.
Yeah. Sure.
Somebody recently. I think Corvus is shock immune, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny, this is another good reason why people should wait to rank up champions is they're getting more into the habit of selling the cure before they introduce the disease, right? So Corvus and Proxima are both fairly decent counters to Iron Man, but they came out before him. So they're getting, which is a good thing. I think that's a better way for Kabam to release these champions in, because it makes planning that much more interesting. So you maybe you go out, you get yourself a Corvus or a Proxima, but you're not sure which one you want to rank up. Wait a couple weeks at least to see who the new defenders are coming out, and then maybe pick which one counters it. You know, you're gonna be in better position there.
Yeah. I mean, right now my approach, outside of the rank 4 and 5-star champions, is pretty much never waste rank up materials.
Yeah, like that's a whole nother thing.
Never had a tier 4 class catalyst expire on me.
Me neither.
And that's pretty much because I don't open them unless I have a need to, because I'm running short on all of them.
Right.
And B, because I try to keep them like each of the classes balanced. So right now, like I'm sitting on between 3 and 9 of the various classes, and it's only 9 in the skill. Everyone else is 7 or less. So
you'll be taking a Black Panther Civil War to 345.
I really don't want to. He's bugging me. He's a constant reminder that I got 1 sig level on him from the dungeons.
Oh, you did? See, that's the
he went from sig 20 to sig 21.
That's the kind of awakening, though, that's decent. You know, like, he doesn't need to be duped very high. And he's
sig 20 to 21.
Oh.
He didn't even get awakened. He just got a sig level.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I kind of like the Civil War Black Panther. But what I do is I've been, just like you're saying, I don't like to let the resources expire. So I hoard all T4CC materials, and I only rank up what I have available. So, like, I just constantly am taking champions to 345. Like, I have more 345 champions now, I think, than I have 550s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I like ranking my 4 stars because, I mean, eventually my goal is just to max out every champion, which...
you're going to be... even the
it's
crystal opening whale can't do that.
Yeah. You're limited by the high-end resources, of course. But in terms of the 3 and 4 stars, like the 4 stars, I've got 40 of them maxed out right now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. See, I can't get my head around the extra basic catalyst. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, it's the opposite. I don't like having to purchase the tier 1 alphas.
I see what you're saying. But I just, the basics don't flow for me like the alphas do.
Right. I mean, for me, it's probably because until the arena changes, I didn't do the alpha arena ever.
Oh, why not? It was the easiest one. 800.
Just because, like, I find it difficult getting into the getting started in an arena, just because, like, mentally.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we all do.
That first round or two, it's just so boring. And I just can't be bothered half the time. So
the first, it is really, isn't it? The first fight is the worst. You're just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. So with the alpha, like, I always just saw those 800,000 points better put towards any other arena.
Fair enough. They do you do get to a point where you have too many alphas. Like I'm back to that point.
Right.
I have like 15 alphas in the overflow right now, but mostly because
Oh,
of the
wow.
offer. But the proportion is the same, right? So I have only 2 basics in the overflow. So
Yep.
there's like definitely more alphas coming in at the moment than basics. So it would kind of make sense for me to just like do a few 5 stars to rank 2 and then a few 550s. But I think the whole resource management, like you were saying before, and just I think the horde in general is super important for ranking up. Like you're gonna have a lot more fun in this game if you're hoarding and waiting for the right opportunity to rank up the champion you want. That what is that experiment? The marshmallow experiment. Have you heard of that? Where
I don't think so.
so they put kids in the room, right, and they say, "Here's a marshmallow," and they put the marshmallow in front of the kid, and they say, "I'm gonna leave the room. Uh, you can eat the marshmallow, but if you wait until I get back, I'll bring in another marshmallow, and if you wait, you can have 2 of them." And it's funny,
Oh,
just different personalities. They different kids do different decisions. A lot of
yeah.
kids will just eat the marshmallow, but the ones who wait, they're sitting there like, oh yeah, and they get their second marshmallow and they're just so much happier, you can tell. And then the other
Yeah.
kids, when the person comes back, they got the marshmallow but they're not allowed to eat it, and the kids are just all disappointed. So like so like waiting for that is just so it's key. I think it's like build up the suspense a lot, and you're able to pop so many crystals just to get what you need, and your progression really it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah. Um, and like for people who are, on the lower end of progression, like maybe they're um, filling out their first team of maxed 4 stars or 345 5 stars,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, they should be worrying about champions that will help them in 3 key areas: Alliance War attack, um, Alliance Quest attack, and to a lesser extent, um, the story progression.
Definitely.
Um, the Alliance War defense, when you're at a fairly low level, should be the last thing you need to worry about.
Oh, definitely. That's the what you worry about, I would say, after like Labyrinth of Legends. Uh,
Yeah,
just don't even consider your defense. I mean, your alliance is going to ask you to, but they it's not as important. You really need to clear, because if you don't get the story mode done and the labyrinth done um, early, it's you're gonna put it off for a long time. Especially if you're ranking champions like Dormammu for defense, and then you're like, okay, now I don't have catalyst to put into my voodoo, and now I can't go do Act 5 because voodoo is like so good in Act 5.
yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. If you could pick, if you could pick 5 champions out of the entire pool right now to have maxed out Sig and everything, who would they be?
Oh wow,
I'm gonna pull up the
uh,
list real quick because uh,
it's a big
I
list.
know, I know. I'm gonna pull it
Just
up.
I'm gonna look at my 3 stars.
I have actually a convenient list on a spreadsheet here.
Oh,
Ooh, for
actually,
me it's
actually,
tricky.
I do too.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's
I think I'll let you go first.
yeah. Thanks for
They're
that.
so cool.
Jeez, 5 champions. Are we talking 4 or 5 star?
Oh, 5 star, rank 5, 6,200. Your dream team. Forget that 6 stars even exist.
Yeah. Um, Jeez.
Think about you've got champions like you can pick from Corvus, Domino. You can pick Sentry.
Yeah, I mean, some of them I just haven't had enough experience with. Like Domino looks great for something like Labyrinth.
I'm gonna. Okay, hold on. I'm almost ready. I've almost got my list. I think
Yeah,
I would go with. I would go with OG Vision, Domino, Sentry, um, uh, Corvus Glaive. I say that kind of. No, I'll take Phoenix over Corvus Glaive. I'll get my 2 prestige champions in there. Domino, Sentry, Phoenix, OG Vision, and let's see. I think a skill champion or a mystic. I'll take Hood. I'll take Hood as my last one. Domino.
Hood. Yeah, he's great fun.
Yeah, Domino, Sentry, Phoenix, Hood, and who did I say? Oh, OG Vision. Yeah, that's 5. I think that would be my dream team.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree on Vision. He's been an absolute blast. Then I go with Void.
Ooh, Void. Dirty.
Corvus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hood. Sorry, not Hood. Void, Vision, Corvus. I'd go for Magic.
Ooh, old school.
And the 5th one, given that you only really need 3 for Alliance War offense, and the team of Corvus, Vision, and Void pretty much covers everything you really need.
Right now, at least.
Yeah. So I'd have Magic as one of the defenders, then I'd say probably Domino, just because she can do defense all right, but she also gets to cover off, tempting
Medusas.
Labyrinth of Legends.
Oh, and Labyrinth. How do you think
yeah.
she'd do Domino on the Bleed Immune champs?
I don't know. I remember Nightcrawler really struggled.
Yeah.
I used far too many revives on Colossus. Like every time he evaded, just die. But also his damage output was really low for Colossus.
Yeah.
But the Bleed Immune says what? The 2 visions.
Oh yeah.
Colossus, Unstoppable Colossus. And is that it? Oh, Ultron.
Yeah, Ultron. Maestro's not bleed immune to a mutant, so that's cool. I forgot what the thing is for mutants. The enigmatic.
It's something around when he uses a special, he nullifies your buffs.
Nah, that's cosmic.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's what is his enigmatic for mutant?
I remember it not being relevant.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. I can't remember it.
It might have been some tiny amount of power drain or something.
Power drain on specials, like when he. Yeah, I think it's actually. It might be either heal block. It might be heal block on specials.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Compare that to
completely irrelevant. Yeah. Or the Mystic one.
The Mystic is the worst. Is easily the worst.
I've never seen someone take on Maestro with a Mystic champion. Like, I just haven't seen it.
Well, Joel Line did it with Magic, and his video is still on YouTube.
Really? Yeah. Oh wow! I'll have to check that.
It's brutal, man. Like nothing against his skills. Like he's very good, or he was good, but I think his subscribers pretty much bought the win there. He was getting gifted like so many revives. He needed them. It was just he was brave for trying it, but it was the poison that goes on you.
Because it's just a random debuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it just melts you, the poison, and you just can't do anything, and you die. So as opposed to like the regen where you can just like quit out, it's almost like forcing you to quit out. It's just as bad, really, but it's more demoralizing.
Of course.
Yeah, because you just don't know when it's gonna happen, and for some reason the debuffs seemed worse than the buffs. Because you could go. I think one time I almost did. I've seen someone solo Maestro with Stark Spidey. Just getting lucky. No regen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the runs that I did with a 345 Star Lord, I managed to get about 1.8 million off Maestro because he just didn't proc any buffs.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful when that happens.
Yeah, it is. I wish I could. There was like a shortcut to him once you beat it. Like, congratulations, you won. Here's the tunnel to Maestro, and just a new line opens up, and it's straight to Maestro. How fun would that be?
Yeah.
Go in there all the time. That would be something. They do need to revamp their whole quest mechanics. Yeah. Stuff like that would be awesome. As
Brian Grant said, they need to get rid of the locked map once a few weeks or months has passed.
Oh yeah, true.
Because Act 5 has been done for 7 months now, 7 or 8, and the last the chapter 4 of that, it's still locked maps, so it's just painful for anyone going through to have to just swap between the game and the maps they're looking at.
Well, maybe like unlock the map after you beat it. I don't like how the maps are needed, but I also don't like how the quests are just like, what's the point of having twists and turns if you don't have to figure something out, right? Like, there's no mystery to it. But at the same time, I totally agree. Like, okay, we're all just gonna pull up a map and do it. That's not fun either. So there's a solution somewhere in the middle there. Well, I'm not quite sure where you do have to sort of make decisions and think about it.
I think, as Brian said, it's hugely relevant for the people who are doing speed runs or trying to be the first to 100% labyrinths.
Oh yeah.
But once all of those prizes have been claimed, there's no rush to do it anymore.
Yeah. To be fair, the Act 5 one was done pretty well. I did it on the first day before the maps came out, and I didn't repeat a path once.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to do without the maps.
You had to read the portals and remember. Like, I was like, okay, did I do the bleed and poison one last time? Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm over to power control. And a few times I had to sit and just like scratch my head, like, who the hell did I fight 10 minutes ago? And try and remember. And I liked that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. But I wasn't going for a speed run, but it's the same thing. I was trying to get it done first. I had a goal to have one of the first 565s in the game. And so I was like, I got to do this. That was kind of fun. And I ended up trying to like circle back to Rankups. That was like trying to stay on topic a little bit. Act 5 was one of the best ways to, Act 5 I think was like the single biggest load of resources in the game. And so like just diving through that right away was such a good way to get ahead. If you're like a newer player and you're sort of trying to bust through the end game sort of glass ceiling, so to speak, like you just can't quite get there, because that's how I felt. I was like full of 550 characters and just had no way to sort of get to the next level. And then all of a sudden Act 5 gets 5.4 gets announced, and the rewards are just insane. And I'm like, here's my chance, I went in, I got the Stark Spidey I finally got lucky, but I didn't need Stark Spidey to finish Act 5. You can do it with 550s. and then I just bombed it. I just went all the way in and had a 565 before I even had my second 455. And then
Wow, really?
I think so. I wanna say yes. I could go back and check, and maybe somebody could correct me. But yeah, I was very early, and then that just boom. All of a sudden, I was an endgame player. I mean, I had
Wow.
only a few. My prestige jumped like 2,000 points in like
Yeah.
a matter of days. It was insane. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
the rewards are
highly
great.
recommend it.
And somewhat related to that, like if I were to start a new account, and you know have some pretty underwhelming luck, like if there's no champ that screams out that I really want to take them to rank 4 or rank 5, what I'd actually do is run through Act 4, and get everything except one quest done. So that's like one path of one quest. So I'd have it at 99% completed. And when the time came that there's someone I want to rank up, I'd complete that last quest and cash in the tier 2 alphas rewards at that point, so that there's no chance of them ever expiring.
Oh, that's a good plan. That's a
And
really good tip.
Similar with Act 5, I would complete 99% of each of the individual chapters, so that when the reward, like the rank up materials, become relevant, I can just do one path on chapter 1, one path on chapter 2, one path on chapter 3, and cash in a ton of rank up rewards. And for chapter 4, I'd get 100% of everything except the last quest. I'd just leave that at 0%. So I'd just have 8 runs to do to get the 6 tier 2 alphas, the tier 5 basics, and a couple more 5 stars. Because if you go through and you're relying on the 5-star crystals, there are a few in there, but it's 6 or 7 or 8, something like that, where if you're unlucky in those, then you're going to be sitting there just hoping to get something before your materials start expiring.
And you might get forced into a rank up you really don't want to do.
Yeah,
that's a pro tip right there. Not everyone has to do it, because you might have plenty of champions to use your resources on. But even if you do, like, I think even when you're sitting on like 5 champions that you're like, oh, I want to rank up all of them, I still think it's worth it just saying, I'm only going to do one rank up at a time, one per month. Give me a month to just like play around with this champion at a high level, see who else is needed to complement them on your roster, because you might not need all of them. Like, why are you going to rank up, multiple glass cannons or multiple power control champions when you really might only need the one?
Yeah, absolutely. Like glass cannon, power control, regen, and
immunity.
Yeah, immunities and the regen reversal. Those are, to me, the main categories to look for. And as you said, you really do just need one per category.
Yeah, and I think like we keep coming back to the theme of just patience. Like, if you can just be patient, you're gonna have such a better time with the whole experience.